All right, part number 2 for the AIR test, your science and social studies tests. All right, so on part 2, we're going to talk a little bit about the student login process and what it is that they're going to see on their iPad and how it is we're going to get them logged in. So far you have selected your test in the teacher interface. You've also started the test, and you've written up that access code number, and that is significantly important, this session ID number right there. All right. Now the kids are going to be ready to get on their iPads. Now the timing of this is also important. All right. You need to make sure that you do not log in to the teacher interface no earlier than 20 minutes before the first kid logs in on their iPad. If you log in earlier than 20 minutes, what it's going to do is it's going to figure out the test session is dead, it'll deactivate it, and that ID number that you've written up on the board is not going to work for those kids. So basically, log in. It's a very simple process. Just log in right before the kids get ready to go and write that number up there on the board. But if you do it any earlier than 20 minutes, it's going to deactivate your entire session. Okay? Now, the kids should have also, there should be index cards. On those index cards, it should have the kid's name, the kid's SSID number, and then I believe the teacher name is on there as well. All right. Now, that is how the kids are going to log in. Whatever is written on that card is how they have to put it in. So if their first name is spelled wrong on that card, then that means we have it spelled wrong in the system. They have to spell it just exactly as it is. Also, if they have, let's say if they go by Mike, but their real legal name is Michael, then they have to put in Michael. Okay, whatever their legal name is and however it is written on that note card. Okay, so let's flip over to the iPad here. I'm going to show you what the kids are going to look at. All right, so just like dealing with the park, these apps will be locked down to one single thing. And with the AIR test, you're going to be using what's called the AIR Secure Test app. All right, so this will be the first thing that you will see when you get into the app. You'll select your state. Obviously, we're going to select Ohio. And then the science and social studies piece just kind of automatically populates because that's it. So we'll click on OK. Students may have to do this every time they log in, or it may just have to happen the first time a classroom uses these. Now we can't see this yet because this is obviously the site is not active, but you can kind of see behind the word coming soon what it is that the kids will have to enter. So the first thing the kids will have to enter is just their first name. That's all they need. They do not need to put in their last name, do not need to put in their middle name, just first name. Underneath that, underneath the M, it says SSID number. So whatever their SSID number is, they need to enter that in. And then under session ID, whatever their session ID number is, that number or combination of words and numbers that you wrote up on the board for your ID, that will then populate them into their session. Okay? Now, you as the teacher, as the kids are logging in, you as the teacher need to be watching this page. Okay? What this will do then is every kid that logs in, they will start to pop up underneath here. Okay? There will be an approval button. I believe it's going to be the hashtag sign. You will need to click on that, and you will need to approve the kid. Now, what you need to be careful of is you need to make sure, as the testing administrator, be careful to make sure you're only putting the kids that are supposed to be in your session. So you just need to check. You should have a list. Check to make sure those kids match up. You could do it beforehand if you wanted to as they come into the classroom, so on and so forth. But just make sure your kids, make sure they're in the right session. So this will then populate all those kids. You can either do a approval by each person, so 25 times or how many ever kids you have in your session, or you can do a massive session, okay, massive approval. All right, so here's all the instructions of how to get through that. Okay, it's also on the step-by-step sheet that you have as well too. Okay, so then you'll be able to watch these students as they take the test, just like you did in Park. You'll be able to watch these kids throughout the session, see how far they've gotten, so on and so forth. Okay, so that is the end of part 2, dealing with what the kids will see on their iPads.